crazy large staff, Michelin stars. I was severely overweight, angry a lot of the time.
You didn't feel good.
I didn't feel good. And so I left.
Wow.
I want to tell the story.
He comes again.
I don't want people walking around saying, I want to be like Bobbi. You want to be like yourself. Be your best. And everything you got is right there.
He comes again.
What's your name?
My name's Missy Robbins.
Were you born that way?
No.
What's your real name?
Melissa Ann Robbins.
Melissa Ann. It's almost as bad as mine.
What's yours?
Bobbi Arlene.
Oh, Arlene, old school.
Yeah. I've never used it. I don't think I've ever said it.
I've been Missy since I was 5.
Okay.
My kindergarten teacher called me Missy. I went home and I declared that no one is to call me Melissa anymore.
Aww.
And I became Missy.
So do you remember first time we met? Because
Yes.
I do. Where did we meet?
I don't know. I'm forgetting right now. Wait, where did we meet?
I stalked you on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. You stalked me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my God, Bobbi Brown is DMing me.
Yeah, and you answered me. I couldn't believe it.
I answer. Why wouldn't I answer you? Do people?
Because I didn't know you knew who I was.
How would I not know who you are? I grew up in the 90s, 80s, 90s.
I just want to know everything from you. I
Okay,
just want to know
what do you want to
everything.
know?
I want to know, when is the first time you decided you liked to cook?
I grew up in a home where everyone really loved food, travel, dining out, and my mother is an incredible entertainer. I'm going to throw the compliment out first. She's not an incredible, she's not an incredible cook, but she grew up in the hospitality industry. My mom, she had a hotel, like a Kutcher's, old school dirty dancing place in Wisconsin. I started cooking a lot at home when I was younger because I didn't really particularly love the direction of the food often. And I felt like, I do believe I'm her favorite child, but I have a brother, but I do believe she cooked more for his orientation, meatloaf, like meatballs. And I wanted to make like cool, like Asian stir fries. And so I would just like get ingredients and do it myself. I had my first dinner party for my friends when I was 14. My parents bought me a pasta maker. I made fettuccine Alfredo and Caesar salad. And I was very lucky because I had parents who were pretty open-minded.
What did your dad do?
My dad was a doctor. He was a radiologist. He put himself through school by selling Christmas trees in the winter and fireworks in the summer. One of my favorite stories about him. But my parents really both believed in just getting educated, get analytical skills, study whatever you want to study, and you'll be successful. I thought I was going to go in the art world, and I liked the business part of it, but I didn't even understand what that meant. And then I found out a friend of mine was cooking at a restaurant in Chicago called Charlie Trotter's, which at the time was like
I'm from Chicago, of
the
course.
restaurant. And we went to Charlie Trotter's. At the end of the meal was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I said, how do I get a job? She said, well, you can try and write him a letter. And I wrote this passionate letter about all the places I've eaten and how I just wanted to learn. Before people had these empires and they were in their kitchens and they had one place, they had...
Or you had a really good resume. Or a really good cover letter or
I have
something.
a very good cover letter.
Yeah,
I should have brought it.
something.
I have them still.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool. That'll be in your memoir.
Yeah. Do I have to write a memoir? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought I already did that in my little first cookbook.
But all these years working in kitchens, not so easy.
I'm the healthiest probably I've ever been in my life right now, but I was working at a restaurant called Avoce. I'd been there. I moved back from Chicago. There were 2 Avoces. I ran both of them. I had crazy large staffs and Michelin stars and whatever you need to be called successful. I was severely overweight. I was angry a lot of the time.
You didn't feel good.
I didn't feel good. And so after 5 years, I gave my notice. I broke a contract. I said, I'm going to take a year off. And so I left and I got my health in order, my physical health. I lost 40 pounds that year. And then it got scary because the year was upon me. I had a neighbor named Sean who lived above me. We had this base of sort of common values, family values, business values. Sean texted me, I'd like to be your business partner. And I said, no. I thought I needed this front of house person who was going to do the wine list and run the front of house operation in the restaurant. And I finally sort of said, like, maybe that's not so important. And I ran upstairs to his apartment and like I had tears in my eyes and I was like, okay, let's do it. And he's like, okay. And I said, do you have the money? And he's like, yeah, sure I do.
Did he
course
have
I
the
don't.
money?
No.
No.
He raised it very quickly and he did a great job, and we still have most of those investors today.
You've done this a few times. Like, what has been the wins and what has been the struggles, and how do you handle the struggles?
When I opened Lilia, which was the first restaurant, which will be 9 years old, I was a chef and a restaurateur, and I don't think I considered myself an entrepreneur. When you open the second restaurant, we opened Missy 2 years later. I think the pressure of opening number 2, want to talk about wins. Lilia was a huge win from the minute we opened. To replicate that is really scary. What I've learned is you can't necessarily replicate that, and Missy is a very different restaurant. We opened Missy in September of 2018. Sean, as he does, came to me and he said, "What's next?" And I said, "No more restaurants. I want a pasta and sauce company." And now I do feel like an entrepreneur. My days are more taken by building this brand.
You're doing more things that you have to be out in front. And how are you handling that?
I feel really comfortable with myself. I mean, even during COVID, the restaurants never opened again. I would be really sad, but I would be really excited to work on Missy Pasta for the rest of my life.
Right.
And
That sauce, everything I buy from you, I use it on different things because it just makes my tasteless food taste good.
I know you told me.
It is honestly
Thank you.
it's a game changer. I can't figure out what to do myself.
But the goal is to like give you the tools to entertain at home, cook at home, and be able to have food that tastes like mine in the restaurant, but also be creative yourself and figure out different ways to do it.
Do you ever reheat pasta the next day?
What do you mean?
But you could take the pasta that you made the day before that you didn't eat and put it in a pan with some of the sauce.
No, that's not happening.
Right, but they also say that if you make a pasta and you drain it,
No.
and then
Never drain it. We have a lot of work to do.
We have a lot of work
But
to
the
do.
pasta water, this is very
Yeah.
important. So the pasta water gets starch in it, right? It has salt in it. Do you salt your pasta water?
I don't know if I do.
Okay. Number one.
Okay, you have to
number
salt the
one,
water?
Salt. You have to salt the water
Well, that's why.
because that's what flavors the pasta. So you take your pasta out of the water like a handheld colander.
Oh, so you don't throw the whole thing in the sink with
You
the thing.
never do that. No,
Okay.
that's not a good idea. You take it and you go directly from the pan to the sauce. And then you finish cooking the pasta in the sauce with a little bit of that pasta water for like 1 to 2 minutes, depending on what you're cooking.
I like al dente. So you're probably not interested in this either. Cottage cheese, smashed broccoli.
Are you okay?
Yes, and then we could make a pancake. And when we're hungry in the afternoon, it's like delicious.
A cottage cheese broccoli pancake?
Yes, have you not been on TikTok?
No, I don't have a
It's
TikTok
all the
account.
rage.
I don't have a TikTok.
So what do you see when you look in the mirror?
These days, I see something pretty good. Very healthy right now. I see someone who's like excited for the future, getting a life together that I'm excited about.
And what advice would you have for all the people that are listening to all the incredible things you've done and how you are so consistent and so on it, but they're stuck and they don't know what to do?
I think there are two things. I had a goal when I started cooking that I was going to open by the time I was 30. And I don't know where I got that goal. I just arbitrarily said I was ambitious and I was like, I'm going to do this. I think this slow path, Lilia would never have had the success it had if I had opened it even 5 years earlier. I think taking the time to develop the skills and the maturity is more important than like having your own business, and it'll come. And then I think just staying true to your brand and not trying to grow too fast. Relatively speaking, to a lot of ways restaurants grow these days, we've taken a relatively slow approach. I think it's not so dissimilar for the approach I took to writing the pasta book. So many books come out and they're popular for a year or two or whatever. My pasta book, we wrote it so that in 20 years, someone might pick it up and that will be their reference point for how to make pasta. It's beautiful and it's timeless. And that's sort of how I want the restaurants to be and the brand to be.
Well, you won't be surprised. I have the book. I love the book. It's so beautiful. I haven't read the book.
That's fine.
I can't read books.
That's
I just
fine.
look at the pictures.
That's
That's
fine.
why I don't know how to make pasta.
That's fine.
But it is a beautiful
Thank
book.
you.
Maybe if you do like a voiceover, like can't you do like an audible version of the pasta book?
You always have such good ideas for me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was easy.